because I know we only made it to 30 in the last chapter. But number. Not mass, because oh my goodness. Singular and plural. What do I mean by singular, or what do we mean by singular? One. What do we mean by plural?
Two.
More than one. Yeah, not just two. I'll just say two. Or I guess two or more, if you were going to say it, if I missed out on the or more part. Okay? So one, more than one. Okay? Now, in English, y'all speak English, how do you make a singular noun plural? Add an S. So door becomes doors, table becomes tables, phone becomes phones. What about dish? Becomes dishes?
Yes.
Dishes?
Okay, so now you're lying to me, Jorge. You said you just add an S, all right? So, yeah, Meredith knows where I'm going with this. What's the plural of moose? Mooses? So, what's the plural of goose? Just goose? What's the plural of man? Mans? Okay, so first you tell me you just add an S, and now you tell me I have to add an ES, and now you're giving me all kinds of weird stuff, okay? All right, don't even, I was going to start with the Latin words, but, you know, like syllabus and antenna and things like that. Jorge's like, I know that one. I know at least that one. No, my point is that English, you know, for all of the rules that it has, add an S, there's just as many exceptions. Okay. Oh, unless it's a Latin word, and the reason why it's moose, but goose, geese, is because moose is a Native American word, whereas goose is not. All right. Even though they like, you know, it's like, but it's OOSE for both of them. But no, moose comes from, I want to say Algonquian. I can't remember 100%. And goose comes, you know, from some European language. I can't remember which one either right now. So the rules are a little different. All right. My point is. And I'm sorry, my foot hurts. En Espanol, it's pretty simple. If a word ends in a vowel, A-E-I-O-U, all you do is add S. That's it. So libro becomes libros. Mesa becomes mesas. Okay? If a word ends in a consonant, you know, anything that's not A-E-I-O-U, then you add ES. So universidad becomes universidad S. Papel becomes papel S. ES. That's it. Kind of, sort of. In Spanish, unfortunately, we also make the article plural. All right? So, el libro, the book. El becomes los libros, the books. The English equivalent would be if we said those books, which we don't, all right? We don't say those books, but we do in Espanol, okay? So, el becomes los, and then la becomes las. Okay, so la mesa, the table, las mesas, the tables, is the translation. But quite literally, you're saying those tables. Okay, so we make the article plural. So, what does this mean? It means that in Espanol, we have 4 words that mean the, depending on whether it's masculine or feminine, singular or plural. Okay? Un and una also become plural, but we already do that in English. Okay? Now, if I didn't have the slide up, I always ask, what's the plural of a or an? You know, a book, it's not as books or something like that. You know, the plural of a book, un libro, would be unos libros, some books. So in English, we would say some, as opposed to I need a book, I need some books, okay? So un becomes unos, and una becomes unas, all right? So you have to make that part plural as well. And as an FYI, if you put something like el libros or un papeles, I do have to mark it wrong, all right? Because you got to have the word the and the word a pluralized. Pluralized? Yes, pluralized. Now, there is one deer, moose, goose, mouse type of word in Espanol. And that is words that end in the letter Z. And so far, you know two. All right. What is el lápiz again? Gracias, pencil. And what is la luz? The light. Okay. In order to make it plural, you have to change the spelling un poquito. You got to drop the Z. That becomes los. You change it to a C. And because the letter C is a consonant, you add ES. Same thing with light. You take the Z, you change it to a C, and you add ES. This is all words that end in Z. Okay? If you're making them plural, then you have to take the Z, change it to a C, and add ES. All right? Up until now, well, you've only had one test. And for everything else, I'm going to be fairly lenient on spelling. Okay? This will be the first thing where I'm going to be a jerk. And if you put LAPIZES, it will be marked wrong. Okay? Because the Z needs to become a C. Same thing with loose. If you put LUZES, all right, it needs to be the letter C. So Z to a C. Okay? That is our only fish, our only deer, our only mouse, our only woman, or whatever other word does a weird spell change. What is the plural of fish? Okay, I actually had to go to one of the biology professors for this one. If it's the same species, it's fish. Okay, thank you. If it's two different types, it's fishes. So if you've got two Nemo fishes, then it's fish. If you've got two Nemos and like two betas, fish is. So if it's a different species, it's ES. But if it's the same, it's just fish. You know, I was like, you know, because I was telling her, oh, yeah, you know, we're doing this. And she's like, well, you know, I won't tell you which biology professor, but maybe you can figure it out if you're taking biology. She was like, oh, I already said she. They were like, well, you know, Santos, if it's the same, like, species, it's just fish. Because you have 10 Nemos. What are those? Clownfish. You know, so it's, you know, 10 fish. But if you've got a variety, or if you've got 10 Nemos and you've got 10 betas, then it's fishes, because you've got two different species. And I was like, oh, well, even I learned something today. Okay? So, now, the last thing, when it comes to singular and plural, okay? Alls y'alls are estudiantes. La estudiante, el estudiante, la estudiante, el estudiante, la estudiante. But if I want to talk about alls y'alls together to one of my professor friends, okay, the default form for a mixed gendered group is always the masculine. Okay, so los estudiantes. Okay, if all of you were librarians, all right, los bibliotecarios. Okay, even though we have some lady librarians here. Okay, and once again, lo siento, ladies, I am so sorry, but even if there's only one guy present, all right, you still have to use the masculine form. You cannot use the feminine form exclusively unless it's only women. All right, so at that point,